treks at Mount Everest, which can have 2.5-hour queues near the summit. Some of the most grueling adventure and ultramarathon races are now so oversubscribed that organisers have implemented lottery systems. In every major city, fight gyms run pricey pretender-to-contender training programmes designed to give desk jockeys a taste of glory in the boxing ring. And thanks to the exaltations of Russell Brand, Liam Hemsworth and Oprah, Dutch athlete Wim Hof's 3-pillared method of cold therapy, such as immersion in an ice bath, breathing and meditation has become accessible to anyone with the app. Hof recommends, die once a day because it makes you so alive. Armchair athletes prefer to dabble in endurance tourism from the comfort of their lounge rooms, but are no less enthralled. Basically, most of us think we ought to get out of our comfort zone, but we'll just let someone else test the water first while we think about it. Everyone's reading the wisdom of former Navy SEALs on leadership and discipline, turning to Joe Rogan's podcast for the lowdown on turbo supplements and talking about grit. At conferences, professional adventurers are booked to give motivational talks about resilience and risk-taking to sales executives and real estate agents. Among the highest-rated television shows is the United Kingdom's brutal SAS, Who Dares Wins, which The Guardian dubbed a sadistic PE lesson, and the Australian spin-off SAS Australia, in which contestants are challenged to complete an SAS selection course while being cursed at by former Special Forces soldiers, dragged through mud, launched backwards out of helicopters into freezing lakes, and shot at with blanks. Alone, an American concept, follows 10 hardcore survivalists abandoned separately in the Patagonian wilderness, or in northern Mongolia, or in the northwest territories of Canada, depending on which season you watch, and they regularly lose around 30% of their body mass. Back in the United Kingdom, the 5-part adventure series Don't Rock the Boat pitched celebs into freezing waters to row the length of Britain, resulting in mass vomiting and fainting. Whether vicariously or directly, we give ourselves permission to feel these ugly, primal emotions, and the chemical rewards are bountiful. Endurance athletes experience what's colloquially called runner's high, a blissful cocktail of endocannabinoids, endorphins and serotonin, the flood of which can feel transcendent, even spiritual. There's a similar rush going on during high-octane thrill-seeking. When base jumpers are about to leap into the unknown, the amygdala senses the risk and triggers the release of a blend of chemicals: dopamine, which provides focus; adrenaline, which increases heart rate, boosting oxygen and glucose for energy; and endorphins to protect against pain. The brain releases testosterone for a boost of strength and confidence. In bondage, disciplines, sadism and masochism play, BDSM, the endogenous opioid system responds to the pain, releasing opioid peptides. It seems some of us are more wired than others to activate those ancient biological systems, be it through being caned in a dungeon during a lunch break, or climbing a sheer rock wall at the weekend. It shouldn't come as a surprise that research into extreme behaviour started in earnest in the decade of experimentation. The 1960s introduced the work of University of Massachusetts psychology professor Seymour Epstein, who studied parachutists' psychological arousal when approaching a jump and observed the immense sense of well-being derived from surviving fear. Daniel Ellis Berlin, associate professor at Boston University, investigated levels of hedonic arousal through stimuli such as novelty, complexity, surprise, and incongruity. Marvin Zuckerman, a professor of psychology at the University of Delaware, deduced that volunteers lining up to participate in experiments on hypnosis and new drugs were, judging by their other lifestyle choices, likely to be sensation seekers hoping to groove on a trippy